Why, hello there, fellow colonists. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Homeworld, Episode 13, Investing in a Stateless Planet. Before I start, I wanted to go over some slight detail changes here, just to make things more obvious. So one, I changed the rule about what we're allowed to use, so I am going to be avoiding rare or unique ships or weapons. I had mentioned this last stream, but basically the idea is, if we use rare stuff, we paint a target on our backs, because other factions want our rare stuff. We don't want a target on our backs, we want to get along with everyone. It's the whole reason for, like, we're not black marketing, we're not piracy, we're not illegal goods, we're not using rare stuff. Basically, that's the spirit of the rules. The idea behind it all is we're trying to get along with the galaxy, so we're following their customs, following their standards, and not using rare stuff, period. So all the questions of, like, are you going to use insert rare thing that you find one of ever, whether it's like Executor, Ziggurat, Giga Cannon. No, we're not. No. The answer is no. Another one is the Terraforming Made Easy mod allows you to build some stuff which makes no canonical sense. So the Terraforming mod Made Easy allows you to build a hypertap shunt, or a sleeper, a cryo sleeper, or just straight up like terraform, build your own gates. And canonically, that makes no sense, especially the sleeper, because you can't just build a generation ship and then what, like all of a sudden has people in it? I mean, it makes no sense at all. So we're not going to be building that. Not that the shunt would matter, because in our case, there is no blue giant within 10 light years of Duo anyway. So like we wouldn't be able to tap anything regardless. So now that I've covered those like detail changes, just for clarity, let's go over the plan for today. The plan is to, and this was always the plan, to make Darid the economic base to support the fleet, and to grow it to support the stateless. We're currently rolling out farming, and then after we roll out farming, I'd like to set up commerce. So food and trade is going to be really important early on, and we're hoping to grow this kind of as fast as we possibly can, possibly even using story points to do it. And the whole purpose is to support our micro empire, maybe. Let's call it a micro empire. If you're wondering about this green bar here, that is my scrap. That is from the second in command mod. So right at the end of last stream, I forgot to mention this as well. We paid off Kanta. So what we're going to have in terms of the colony crises is none at the moment. And this, of course, will change as we develop. So if we have too many LUD industries, we're going to get like majority LUD. If our exports or the planet grows too much, we're going to get the attention of Tritac or Persean. I don't think we're going to be on Hedge's radar ever, because we're not messing with the AI cores in a way that they would care about. But regardless, we are going to need to build up a fleet to be able to support the colony crisis, with the caveat, of course, that it has to be a salvage fleet, which makes it really challenging. Now, one of the things I'm hoping to do is to find a few more combat-capable ships, and then what we can start to do is to attack small pirate fleets and to try to salvage the ships off of the small pirate fleets. And as long as we salvage more ships than we lose, it's a net positive that will be like a positive feedback loop, allowing us to grow the fleet. So what I'm going to be doing right now, the other thing I wanted to do actually is talk about the different buildings that you can build. And this is the Terraforming Made Easy mod. So the agricultural laboratory allows you to modify the soil richness on your planet, and these things have upkeep and they're expensive. So just for instance, if you wanted to change the richness of the soil from like bad to bountiful, it's going to cost you like, I don't know, I'm going to make up a number, but like 6 million, right? Put them in perspective, we have about 1.3. The atmospheric regulator allows you to remove things like toxic atmosphere, or even add things like toxic atmosphere, thin, no atmosphere, etc., etc. The construction grid allows you to make mega projects. I just mentioned the mega projects, but basically We're not going to build a gate through this system. We're not going to build a shunt through the system. We're not going to build a sleeper through the system. So there's only a few mega projects left over. The element synthesizer allows you to change rare ores and volatiles, with the caveat that they require some planet precursors. So if you want volatiles, it's going to have to be like a gas giant or have like a dense atmosphere or something like that. I forget exactly what the requirements are, but basically it isn't free. You can't just like modify all the values of your planet. There are some prerequisites. So for instance, for us, I would never be able to make it like rich transplutonic ore. That was not a possibility with the planet we've colonized. The geomorphology station allows us to change the biospheres and invasive planets if there's immutable, if there's hostile whatever, or resistant populations if there's, like a criminal undergrounds, etc. The mineral replicator, as you imagine, helps you to change the ore, both organics and regular ore abundancy. Planetary hologram just makes your planet look like something else. So you can like make your planet look like a gas giant if you want it. It's for funsies. Stellar Manufactory is probably the one we're going to build first. That allows you to set up things like stellar shades and mirrors. And the reason why that's going to be probably first is we are a farming world that would get a bonus from solar mirrors, and we have low light. And that would solve two problems at once. It would remove the low light condition and also boost our farming production. So that's probably, and it's expensive. It is expensive, but that's probably one of the things we're going to be saving up for. Terrestrial engine allows you to change the tectonic activity type stuff or change your gravity. So we colonized a low gravity world on purpose. I'm not going to remove the low gravity modifier. The whole intention is that us stateless that were born in space are basically like the expanse belters. Basically, we can't handle high gravity or normal gravity. So the requirement, of course, was we colonize a low planet world, but I'm keeping it low gravity world. But obviously I'm going to keep it, for lore's sake. Unification Center allows you, and this is somewhat similar to if you're familiar with Stellaris. It helps you determine sort of like the purpose of the world. So you can be like a forge world or a foundry world or a paradise world or whatever. And eventually we're going to aim for that, but our planet's going to have to develop a lot more first. But I do intend for Darad to be a paradise world at some point. So those are the terraforming made easy type mod stuff there. If you're wondering, just to like give you a rundown, because I'm sure there was going to be questions about all these new things that you could build. All right. Right now, what I want to do is earn more money, because I want to pour money into Darad so that it grows. So we're aiming for Darad to be stable. And there's some things that we can do to help that. One thing that we could do is to improve our reputation with the other factions so they don't come to raid us. We do have a makeshift comm relay, but what we could do with a beta core, and of course, the rules are that we aren't using AI cores for like governance or fleets, but upgrading a makeshift relay to a domain era makeshift relay wouldn't necessarily be unreasonable, and that requires a beta core. The other thing I'd like to do for Darad is to survey the whole thing. I think that would be decent to know what we're working with. But it's also going to just be like picking up more quests, more missions, and picking up more missions in the hopes that we end up finding more derelicts, because as it is now, we don't exactly have a fleet that is combat capable of defeating small pirate fleets and the like without taking measurable losses. So, this is a 2-for-1. They have me going to the same place for the same mission. I like that. Petters and Joint, thank you for the resubs. Okay. I was just looking to top up our fuel, which I've done. So let's go out to... You know what? Both of these are grouped together too. I'm going to accept them because that will pay 210,000, which is not bad. When you build those plant improving structures, do they remain permanently? Once you change basically the settings of the planet, they are permanent and don't require upkeep. So for instance, if you change the atmosphere from toxic to normal, you would then be able to decommission the structure. And there's one exception, of course, which is the hologram. The planetary hologram, if you decommission the hologram, you don't broadcast the hologram anymore. So apart from that, no, they don't require upkeep after they finish. With that said, unless we have the money to... So if you're wondering, like I was talking about putting in farming solar panels, or basically stellar shades. If I did that, there is no point in building the stellar manufactory until I have the money for the project. Because the stellar manufactory is like the foundation of the project. It's not the project itself. So once you build the stellar manufactory, which takes a year, then it will take like another year and like 4 million credits to then build the solar shades. So there's no point in upkeeping a stellar manufactory until I am within a year of having that amount of money. Because it takes a year to build this thing. So I wouldn't want to build it well in advance and then suffer the 8,000 credits a month upkeep required to keep the stellar manufactory built while it's doing nothing for me. If that makes sense. All right. This is a low beacon world. Got it. I'm going to drop in right on the star. Yeah, it's a remnant world. And yeah, we're not fighting the guards. No, sir. All right. So that's one of the missions. Easy peasy. The other one is some distance away from center. It's probably somewhere in this asteroid field. I actually might have just flown to it. Yep, there it is. It's a mule. With Marines. Okay. Done. Easy. Fast money. Cool. And TriTac will like us a little bit more, which is good. Alright, opening up the gate network. Oh, there's a gate here at Taish? So let's take the gate to Taish to Gamma Belferon. I didn't know there was a gate here. It's... okay. We'll just jump right back into the star. Okay. We have a little remnant microfleet coming our way. No problem. And the gate's down this way. I should have enough fuel to just, like, go straight to Belferon or whatever it's called. Hopefully. In building up our gate knowledge, this costs... yeah, we have enough fuel. We're going to be a little fuel tight on our return trip, but, like, we should be okay. I don't want a Hermes. And if you're wondering, yeah, I've been a little bit choosier about what I'm salvaging, because I definitely don't need, like, garbage ships for any reason. Like, a Hermes is never going to blow up anything ever in a million years. It's like a micro shuttle. It's like a taxi cab. Oh, what the hell? We accidentally talked to someone on the surface while I was, like, investigating the planet. And, there's 136 crew and... Okay, I'll read this whole thing. We're getting a signal from the surface, point of origin on the surface, takes over the report. Scan shows a small power source, several light planetary crafts, and robotic drill rigs, temporary structures, mining survey. And then we finally get a call, connection, signal clear. Are you the commander of the fleet in orbit? We're miners, or we were. There was an accident, our oil rig blew, the company pulled out, and they left us here to die. The bloodsuckers said a return trip wasn't in the contract, and if we couldn't produce, will you help us return to the core? And he quickly adds, we've got skilled techs and operators, lots of spacefaring experience. So they have 136 people. They need that space to transport the miners. And 12 units of heavy machinery could be recovered. What were you mining? Ultra-rich rare ore. Okay. And what company was it? And he doesn't want to snitch. Do what you need to do to make a living. And I'm going to offer them transportation back to the core. And I'm going to do a survey too, because, so, you know, figure out what the hell. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, I get it. Yep. That's a lot of ore. We'll bring them to the core soon. I'm not going to part ways with my current priority just yet. So the current missions we're on, we've got some distance away from center and orbiting a barren world. Let's go to the barren world first, because that's less of like a big search. And then we can bang that one out and then try to find the other probe. Do we have anything to learn here? No. This kind of looks like a barren world. Maybe with any luck it is. Orbiting a barren world. So there's a tiny jungle world. So there's two barren worlds here and a barren world there. We'll check the barren world to the west. Man, that's a name. Mage Norananan? Do. Manamana. Oh, yeah. All right. I guessed right. We now know the location of a domain era ship as well, because that had the probe here had information on it. And I'm going to assume that the jungle world is going to be worth surveying, because often they are. They have ruins. And I'm also just sorting the scrap to be able to pay for the fuel bills return trip. Because we're going to be tight on fuel. I think we'll have enough, but it'll be tight. There is something to the 430 of the sun. Of the star, I should say. Yep, and there's ruins here. Perfect. There's actually ruins on the other barren world, too. So, another low grav. Not that I would have colonized here. With ruins and farmland and the like. And we have got a gamma core. Wow, those ruins are pretty empty. Maybe this one's better. Yeah, I would say. We have so many corrupted nanoforges, it's getting kind of silly. But, might as well hoard them, I guess. I don't intend to sell them. However, with any luck, this is a research station, not a probe, but it's probably just a probe. 'Tis a probe. And it's a guarded probe, so I'm not going to even be able to do anything about that. Alright, then the next stop is the other probe, and this is some distance away from center. Once we're done... Cool. I should have considered a slingshot if it would be faster. So we were near a black hole. Well, I don't need a sling for that. And this is yet another Roundorf system. Okay. With another Terran world. What the heck is going on? Insert joke about hot dwarf Goldilocks. Wow, that was quick. Pretty painless. And we don't have the means to defeat those defenders, so I'm not going to bother. Before I leave here, let's check for, like, mining rigs and ruins. Stuff like that. And we'll head back. So taking a look at Darad, we are 1 day away from farming being done, and then it will start to build the orbital station. You know... I'm actually going to cancel the orbital station, because the orbital station is going to mostly add stability and protection, which we don't at the moment need. And instead, I'm going to probably upgrade... Well, you know what? I want a way station. The reason why I want a way station is it's going to be easier for me to refuel. So that will be queued next. A way station is like a convenience store for your planet, if you will. Well, that was not really worth it, but it was free. Okay. So both of those missions were done. How close to core are we now? Because if I use this black hole to sling myself towards the center, that might be faster. I'll try to sling myself to, like, Durstar, because I think there's a gate there. There is. Alright, that's what I'll do. Banana, thank you for the resub. So generating slip surge. And my range has me coming in at Tile or Antilla. So yeah, I should have fuel shopped prior more, but, you know, I'll make it. Just a little tight. And the planet now, it does have a deficit of recreational drugs, but it is actually making credits per month, even with the hazard pay. But I'm going to keep paying hazard pay because I'd rather have the growth. And then the way station is also going to help with that. And then after the way station's built, I'll probably upgrade the spaceport to a megaport. In fact, I'll just do that now because it's concurrent. Basically, you can build one thing and upgrade one thing. Now, I can't install the soul nanites for the farming because we do have sparse rare ore deposits. And I suppose that might make for a good question, which is, what should I upgrade first? Should I remove the nanites? Or should I oh, crap. Work on the solar shades for farming. I didn't mean to do that. Well, I guess we're SOSing for fuel. I have no idea how we, like, dipped into this system. Maybe I can, get fuel from something here. But it just, distress called for fuel. We're pretty close to core, so it shouldn't be that hard to find someone to provide. Plus, we have a lot of supplies, so we can wait if we need to. Oh yeah, here we go. Transponder's on, and we will pay for emergency fuel. Technically, it is buying from Persean League, but, like, you know, it's not trade so much as it is, like, emergency supplies. Wow, that was not much of a wait. They were really in the neighborhood. Okay, with the fuel that we have, let's go to Nordia. Because the independent military world is there, and that's going to be one way to buy a lot of fuel in one stop. And this is exactly why I want the way station, because the way station will allow us to, like, fuel up without too much effort in the future. And I'll just drop these miners off at Nordia. Okay. You've arrived at a colony suitable for offloading miners you've rescued. Shuttle the miners down. So, I gained rep with the independents. I gained some experience. I lost the crew. And, we're good. And I'm going to also buy for the independent military. That's still open market stuff. It's just I have good rep with them, so they'll allow it. I'm going to start amassing transplutonics for reasons, and I'm sure any veteran of the game knows why. Hold on to that stuff. And that's probably all I want to sell. And let's buy the transplutonics that they have for now. Okay, so that was a good trade. I'm going to head back to our capital. I'm going to start calling it that. But I am still looking for, like, let's see. I'm still looking for missions that are, like, clustered together so I get more bang for my buck. Because at the moment, like, I guess there's... No, withdrawn, never mind. Give the AI core? I should have. Let me turn back and hand that over. I have no need for the gamma core, you're right. I do want one beta core for upgrading my comms relay, but I don't need a gamma core. So you are gonna take it. Which is funny that one gamma core was like the same cost as like the emergency fuel that I got bailed out with. Which... Oh, metal remnants of a hound? Don't want a hound. But I'll rip it apart. That's another thing to potentially consider, which is, if I'm looking for ships, going where there's, like, hostility between worlds isn't necessarily a reasonable way to get ships that, got destroyed in conflicts. I'm just, for now, more excited about finding what's out there from salvage, because it could be really good. All right, the poll that I had for you guys is what's the first terraforming that we will do? Remove transplutonic or add solar shades or solar. What are they even called? They're not shades. They're, God, I forget the name of it. Add solar... Hold on. Starsector... What are they called? Array? I think? I'll call it an array. No, it's not a lamp. Lamps are different. I think it's called an array. Mirrors, an array? Whatever. I mean, you know what I'm talking about now. I believe the array is going to be far more expensive than the ore. But I'm happy to do it either way. It gives me something that I know I'm, like, saving up for. So the solar nanites that I have increases the farming production by 2, but we can't have transplutonic ore deposits on the planet, so I can't install those until the transplutonic ore has been removed through terraforming. And then the solar array would boost our farmland output and remove the poor light condition, as I mentioned before. So that's essentially what you're voting on. After we build the spaceport, way station, we have farming. Troll HQ wouldn't be a terrible idea, especially if we start getting colony crisis build up, because that's a structure. So to back things up a little bit, planets can only have so many industries. So right now our industry is farming. And when the planet grows, which is growing 4.6% per month at 15%, so it's going to be a while before it grows, obviously. But once it grows, and I'm trying to grow it faster by getting a spaceport, to a megaport, getting a way station, etc. But once it grows, we'll be able to add another industry, and my next industry that I'm planning on is commerce. And commerce will incur a stability penalty, but it will also increase our income and allow us to start trading with sort of our own market, which is going to be really, really helpful as well. It looks like you guys want me to save up for this solar array. I'm going to leave 1 more minute on the clock for that, but that's fairly reasonable. I think before I leave this system, I want to fully survey everything that's here. And then also check the cost of upgrading the makeshift comms, because I know it costs a beta core and some transplutonics. So it's a beta core, 200 transplutonics, and 1,000 regular metal ore. Okay, got it. So once we have a beta core, we can consider that. And that will add +1 stability for this system. Or +2. It will go from +1 to +2. So I'm just surveying the other planets, not that I'm going to be colonizing them. It's just, I would like for this whole system to be fully surveyed. It just makes sense. It's our home. We might as well know our own backyard. And I am going to make a very risky assumption that within 1 year, I'm going to have the necessary credits in order to add the solar array. So I'm going to start building the stellar manufactory. It's expensive, and we'll have about a year to make 3 million, which I think is not unreasonable. 1K metals is pretty crazy? No, not at all. Go to 1 mining rig, you get all of it. Like 1 mining station. And you'd be drowning in that stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead back to the core and continue picking up paid missions, ideally ones that are profitable, high profit, so that we can start affording all of the bonuses and trimmings that we want for our colony. And once we have the way station, once we have the way station and megaport, the colony should be growing faster as well, which will allow for us to then enroll in commerce, which is going to make more money, especially given that we have the Dealmaker Holosuite, which adds bonuses to commerce. So I'm just going to be poking around the core systems, looking for high-paid missions and opportunities to salvage. Both would be ideal. And hopefully missions that are like clustered adjacent to one another, because that's the most bang from a buck. The other thing to keep an eye on is the colony crises. At the moment, I don't have any, but like that will change. What is the Luddic majority situation right now? My population, I only have thousands of people that call it home, and then I forget. There's a way to see your like population breakdown. I'm like totally blanking on where that is. Oh, the other thing is I think, yeah, so one of my mods that I have installed, one of my bionics is lowering my accessibility, and raising my accessibility as high as possible will help with growth. So let's quickly reassess my bionics, because the Guardian communication node is not helping me, so I'm going to remove it. So in my for my eye slot, market income 10%, upgrade cost 15%. That doesn't sound like it's going to pay for itself. Let's see. So right now we have 6,400. And then if I install that bionic, and with that said, I could also, once the colony starts making like actual money. Oh, is there a removal cost for this though? No, because that's the other thing I need to look at, is to make sure like I don't get slapped with oh no, it does make more money. I'll leave it in because we don't have a lot of upkeep costs. So once we start making more money, it might make sense to have a dedicated admin that has a bunch of like these mods for them, because I'm gonna want combat mods for my own ship and fleet mods for my fleet sooner or later. So I'm just looking at some of the other mods, see if any of them are for admins. So this one wouldn't really help us. That's Captain mod. Nope, those are Captain mods. That's Captain mod. Captain. Okay. So all the mods I have right now help for colonies, which is what my intention was, so that we boost the colonies as much as possible, so that Darrett here gets bonuses. So we have profit bonuses and access bonuses from the mods I have installed. So the just for reference, the current mods I have installed, we have the Harmony Cognitive Enhancer, which is fleet size 10%, defend 5%. We've got the Serenity Adaptation, which is accessibility 5%, upkeep 10%, decrease upkeep 10%. And then the Stellar Ocular Implants, which is market income 10%, upkeep 15% increase. But because we don't have a lot of upkeep, it's, oh god, Pathers. It's more profit. Alright, what am I doing here? I am going to Nova Maxios. Look for missions and fuel. Alright, we're almost maxed on fuel. That's good. What? How are these? Cargo, survey. Okay. Just wondering how they were set up. So, I haven't gotten any of, like, the tasty missions that I've wanted yet. So I'll just keep flying around until we get some clustered ones. Bang for our buck. And Darrett is 5 days away from the way station finished. Now, with that said, my mod that increases the upkeep might end up being a net negative once we have the way station and the megaport, because that increases the amount of upkeep a lot without increasing like market income by anything. So the equation might change a bit. Pow, right as it gets withdrawn. Alright, just for somewhere to go, I'm gonna take... Do we have gates in the area? We don't really have a gate near there. Because checking where we have gates and where the missions are, we can figure out like what's going to be a economic mission to potentially take. That's what I'm like trying to calculate, but we haven't had a lot of luck so far. Oh, this one's easy. It's like next to us. And then I'm going to also pick up the Dollar Star one because I know there's a gate there. I recognize the name. The Dollar Store. So now the Stellar May factory is getting built, and it will take about a year for it to get built. But once we have it, we'll be able to look at the cost of the projects. And the way station is only about 1,000 upkeep, and it's giving a 10% accessibility bonus. Plus, we'll be able to buy supplies, fuel, crew, transpotonics, and volatils, and that's pretty nice. So the increased accessibility is definitely worth it, in my opinion. So this is a supply some distance away from core. That's going to be low-key obnoxious to try to find, but, you know, I'm up for the search. It's free supplies if we find it. Getting more... Oh, shoot. That's fine. They're moving slower than we are. We dragged them through the asteroid belt. They're e-burning, but we're still faster. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Homeworld, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow captains.